Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to go live, and that's because it's another episode of Tactical Tuesday. That's right, welcome to Tactical Tuesday. It's a little bite sized chunk for your week, things that are going to help you inside your business. Now, sometimes I get strategic, sometimes I get tactical. Today is definitely a little tactic. And it's one that I find that a lot of experts in particular are experiencing. And typically, that's what I do as I work with expert businesses, people who have a specialization or an expertise of some sort. And typically they work with me because one of three reasons. One is that they aren't sure about the way forward from where they are now. They might be switching over to a new space, or they've never had to feed themselves before because they've been getting referrals their entire life. Or they might find that they're getting a lot of work, not enough work, that whole roller coaster ride of consistent pipeline. Or they may be experiencing a thing that I'm going to be talking about today, which is sometimes people are buying them coffee, $5 coffee, and then they're picking their brain for an hour to just take their expertise. But in particular, I'm going to be talking about today that process of ghosting. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced it where you've met with a prospective client, they seem ideal, and they said, just send us a proposal. And then you'll go to a lot of trouble to put together a proposal for them and you'll send it to them. And then they will disappear. They will turn into a ghost and you won't be able to contact them. They won't return your calls and it becomes incredibly frustrating. Well, today that's what I want to talk about, how to avoid people from ghosting you when it comes to proposals. And there's kind of like a number of different principles that I have around this. Number one is I don't like sending proposals at all, but that's a personal choice. I don't like writing prior to actually getting a project or a strategy opportunity. I mean, it's part of the reason I do strategy is because I don't like writing anyway. I don't write out strategies. I will workshop those strategies with people. They're live in the room. And so that's why I've had to become a better presenter and facilitator because I don't like writing. So if you like writing, that's absolutely fine. But I'm sure that you don't appreciate putting all the time into doing the writing only to have someone disappear on you when you present the proposal. So there's a couple of keys that come into this. There's kind of three things in particular that will stop that from happening. Number one is when it's actually not their fault. They may be ghosting you because right now is not the time. That they do want to potentially use you, but they can't have that conversation. They may be feeling a little bit of pressure around it. So I'm going to actually put on the board here these three things that are going to be key when it comes to getting a proposal yes rather than a proposal maybe, which is even worse than no, or not hearing back. So number one is now a priority. So for instance, I don't ever send anyone a proposal if I don't think that now is the priority for getting the problem solved. If I think maybe it's in 6 months' time, or maybe next year, or whatever it might be, and mind you, it's 3 weeks from next year now. But if it's not something we need to be talking about within the next month, I put the conversation for solving that problem out to a different date. So you may have experienced before where you're going, this person's definitely going to go ahead, and then they disappear on you, or they say maybe, and you're chasing them for like 6 to 8 months. That's because now wasn't a priority on getting a yes to that proposal. They love everything about the proposal, but now is just not the time for them to say yes, and so they'll disappear for that reason. So making sure that there is a priority for the thing that you're going to do now rather than in the future. If it is in the future, then set an appointment for the time in the future before you even start having that conversation. So that's number one. Make sure that there is a priority around the thing that you're doing. Number two is no, no lonely proposals. So what does that mean? That means I never send a proposal without me with it. I always chaperone my proposals, right? So someone will, you usually get people that say, yeah, just shoot us a proposal and we'll sign off on it, or shoot us a proposal just so we've got something to show somebody. I will be very hesitant to do that because if you send a proposal without you, it becomes a binary situation. It's a yes or a no based off what's written down in your proposal and what's going on for them that day. Now, there's multiple reasons why this. The person that you think is the decision maker may not be the decision maker. There might be something in the proposal that you don't have an opportunity to talk to because you're not there with the prospect. And if that's the case, they can say no or sign off just because of a line that's in there, or even a sentence that's in there, which may have been well-meaning but may mean something else for them. So I always want to make sure that I'm there presenting the proposal to them. So if they say, yes, send us a proposal, you say, absolutely, when's a good time for me to walk through that with you? And that's when I submit the proposal. I either send it just before so that they actually have a copy with them, or I walk through it with them live on a call. I mean, Zoom calls are great. Obviously, if you can get in front of someone, that's even better. But walking through the proposal there. So if they say, look, I'm not really sure about this, or I don't understand this, you can actually talk them through it. Or if they go, I don't like this piece of it, and it could just be one piece in like 10 bits, you go, oh, well, that's fine. We don't need to be doing that. You just put a line through it. Right? So you want to be there to continue to collaborate with them during the proposal presentation, because it's not signed until the money is in the bank. And so making sure that you're not sending lonely proposals is a big step to actually ensuring that they actually get signed. The other one is, why do they need to see the proposal? Often someone will say, just shoot us a proposal. And I'll say, absolutely, what do you want to see? And I've had people go, well, actually nothing. And I said, well, should we just go ahead now and I'll just send the invoice? And they say yes. Or they'll say, just send us the proposal. I'll ask, what is it that you'd like to see in that proposal? And they'll say, oh, look, we just want to confirm the dollars in black and white, because I'm going to have to show my boss these things, and I just want to get sign off from them. Okay, fantastic. Well, maybe it makes sense if we can actually get them and you together in a room, and I'll just walk through the steps and then I'll confirm it via an email. Often a proposal within a PDF is another reason why people will ghost. Is because they haven't opened the PDF. People are busy, right? So the best proposals that I've seen are like this long, like tiny little emails just confirming what we said. And usually they are more than happy to sign off on those sort of proposals, making sure that you're not adding things. You're not adding things that they can say no to. And that's another piece that I really think is important, especially when it comes to being an advisor and in the advisory space, is don't tell them how. So tell them how. Now, this is not the idea of if you tell them how to do it, they're going to go and do it themselves. It's not that. That is very rare that actually happens. It's because if you tell them in the proposal all the details of the things that you're going to do to help them, it seems incredibly complex. And for a lot of people who are very busy, they're like, that seems like a lot of work and I don't want to sign up to a lot of work. Or you'll be telling them how, and there'll be something in the way that you actually go about it that they go, either that won't work or I don't like the way that sounds. And so they'll sign off, they'll literally opt out just because of the way something's written. So most people that I speak to that are experts will and are having the ghosting challenge. I'm finding that they're putting these detailed proposals out there of, this is how many hours we're going to work. These are the dates, and this is the specific steps we're going to use, and this is the outsourcing method we're going to use, and this is who we're going to use for this piece and that piece and all the rest of it. Every single thing you add into a proposal is a reason to say no. I want you to understand that one, because less is definitely more when it comes to proposals. Now, even within a corporate landscape where you will have to put some things in writing so that you can get sign off, it's way better to understand that individual organization's sign off process and make sure you're putting in as little information to meet that than to bombard them with all the things you think that they might need to actually get the sign off, because there'll be things in there that even a procurement company will say no to. All right, or a procurement department. So don't tell them how. It's not about the details of how you're going about doing it. It's the big steps that you're going to complete with them. And if it comes to a strategic piece, which is a lot of the advisors that I speak to are working on, if you sell the entire strategic outcome up front before you've actually done the strategy session, the paid strategy session with them, you're setting yourself up for failure on multiple points. Number one is you're going to have to tell them how and give them all the detail. You're creating a much bigger monetary amount for them to say yes to. And the scope of work may change before you actually get to the end of the project. So you can actually have some very unhappy clients because their expectation of what they signed off on the start of is not met at the end. So if you are looking to do strategic work, make sure that you're looking to do the strategy piece first, the smaller piece. It might be 5,000, 10,000, whatever it might be to do the strategy piece, not the $60,000, $100,000 piece that you're actually going to do, and that you're going to tell them how it's going to be delivered. Because one, you're setting expectations that are potentially wrong because you don't know if that's exactly how it's going to be delivered based off the future and changes that happen. Number two is you're probably doing them a disservice anyway, because until you've been inside their organization, understand who you're working with, what are their resources, what are the things that they can do in-house, and what are the things they're going to need to bring experts in on, it's very hard to design from the outside looking in. Yet I see people do it all the time. And these are the big reasons why people ghost proposals. Number one, the priority is not now. It's not now to make that happen. Number two is they send a proposal without them. And so just on that point, if you're in a sales conversation, make sure you're booking another sales conversation in the conversation you're in, right? Because you might not be able to get another chance to get on the phone with that person. Yet if there is an appointment set that they've agreed to, then they're far more likely to get on the phone or on a Zoom call with you. And finally, don't tell them how. If you give them all the detail, it just gives them more things to say no to. They have a problem that they want solved. They have an outcome that they want to get to. The things in between are just roadmap steps. If you're going into the detail of how you go about doing it, you're actually doing yourself and them a massive disservice. And that's what happens. You know, that's why people are ghosting those opportunities. Now, I can't see any questions there, so I'm going to assume that there's no questions currently. But if you do have any questions, do put them in the comments, because I'll come back. I'll come back and answer all those questions for you. If you are an expert, if you're a person who has, I'm working with like doctors, master's degrees, these really, really super smart people that are finding that their time is massively being wasted in them. They're following up with people for like 6 and 8 months, or people are picking their brain just in coffee conversations. If you're one of those people who is sick of that and actually wants to work out the nuance of how you can actually make it so much easier and close so much better quality work, then reach out to me. We can have a chat about how this might apply to you in your world. Until next time, stay passionate, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.